Welcome to Legal Translation Quick Tips, brought to you by Translating Lawyers. This week, we're going to talk about contract translation, specifically how to translate contracts accurately. Accurate contract translation relies on two skills. First, being able to read critically, and second, being able to translate meaning, not just words. So the first secret or key to contract translation is to avoid party swapping, which, believe it or not, is a very common error. Look at the provision on your screen, paying particular attention to licensor and licensee. If you read this provision carefully and critically, you'll realize that there's a mistake somewhere. Somewhere along the line, someone swapped the parties. And if you did your exercise correctly, you'll see that it's the word licensor that is being highlighted right now on your screen, which should, of course, have read licensee in this case. Party swapping is a very common error in contract translation, and there are at least two things you can do to avoid it. First, you can avoid designations ending in E or or, so you can replace vendor and vendee with seller or buyer, or replace lessor and lessee with landlord and tenant. You get the idea. Another thing you can do when proofreading is to ask yourself for each particular provision that you're reading, who is doing what and how, and that will help you identify cases of party swapping in your translations. Once you've overcome party swapping, the next key is to avoid inconsistent usage of terminology. In non-technical areas of translation, varying terminology can be desirable for elegant variation. But in legal translation, words must be used consistently to express a single idea. This is because of a canon of construction known as the presumption of consistent usage, which basically means that courts will presume that any change in wording signals an intentional change in meaning. Now, for translators, what this means is that if your client consistently used a particular term throughout an entire contract, then your translation has to be equally consistent. Otherwise, you could be creating problems for your client in court. And the third and last key is to stick to normal syntax. Many legal translators confuse the awkward syntax that unfortunately permeates legal writing with desirable legalese. Unnecessary lawyer speak, like anything herein to the contrary notwithstanding, can easily be replaced with normal English usage, such as despite anything in this agreement to the contrary, without anything being lost in translation at all. To achieve that simplicity and beautiful syntax, we recommend that you always read your translation out loud, listen for awkward syntax, and replace it with normal usage in the target language. And that, my friend, will make you a translation superstar. To learn more about legal translation from lawyer linguists, follow us wherever you see the handle @Translating Lawyers. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel.